Okay guys and gals, I'd like to share with you the tools I most commonly use for repairing Mart carts, Amigo carts, and mule carts in our Walmart stores. Starting from left to right, the most expensive one, this is the RC300 battery tester. I bought this online for about $420. I shopped around to get the best price on it. I know that sounds steep. I had to get approval from my AOM, but the reason I got this battery tester is because this battery tester is specially utilized for testing amp hour batteries, okay? And just so you guys know, the two most common batteries we're gonna face here in Walmart is they're both gonna be sealed lead acid batteries, but you always double check when you're buying so you don't get an absorbed glass mat, or there's some other type of electrolyte battery or something like that. Most of them are sealed lead acid batteries, okay? Our Mart cart is, and our mule cart is. Now the major difference between the two batteries, okay? This battery is rated for amp hours. Amp hours is a specification on how much amperage the battery can put out over a specific period of time. And you can get these specifications on the battery. This is a 12 volt, 39 amp hour battery. This is the model number of the battery, and this is a group 27, okay? It's got lead terminals, negative and positive, okay? You cannot test this with a cold crank amp. Actually, I take that back. There is a conversion that you can make. There's a way to test it with the cold crank amp by a tech that I spoke to at Assemble Products Corp. He didn't share that information with me. He said a guy in the shop knows how to do it. So that sounds like he didn't want to share that information. He just wanted us to buy new batteries. This is a DC, this is the group size right here. So they sell these at AutoZone, they sell these at Walmart. This is a very common marine battery, okay? This is rated in cold crank amps and marine crank amps, okay? One is maritime in the water and the other one is for automotive. This is an RV boat battery, okay? The specifications on this one, I don't think it lists it, but the fact that it's a group 31, that range is going to be from 845 marine crank amps up to 1,000 marine crank amps, okay? And so I did that homework on where to get that battery based on the ones that were inside the mule cart itself. See this one right here, SRM31. This is a group 31 battery, 675 cold crank amps, 845 marine crank amps, okay? So those are your parameters that you're gonna test your battery against. And another note on that, your battery has to be fully charged in order to get an accurate test on it. So going back to the equipment, to test the Mart cart batteries, I use my RC300 for the 35 amp hour batteries for the mule carts. That's basically a golf cart battery. For my cold crank or marine crank amps, I use this awesome little battery analyzer that I got at AutoZone for 50 bucks. And this thing has already paid for itself twice over. I barely just got it. It's a great battery. And I'm gonna show you guys how it works in a second, but I just wanna walk through the tools that I'm using. Now, this tool is standard issue with the trucks. If you haven't gotten this tool and you're a general maintenance technician, you need to talk to your AOM. This should be standard, and it is. So this right here, volts with the squiggly line, that's alternating current, hertz, frequency, okay? I'm not gonna go into that. Straight line with the dashes on it, that's gonna be DC current, direct current, okay? This is millivolts, fluctuating AC and DC, okay? This is resistance, open lead or some form of resistance. This is the beeper that people call it. It's still within the ohm category of resistance. This is capacitance and diode testing. And this is temperature. It comes with its temperature probe that you can hook up into these terminals here, and you can actually dip it into oil or put it in an oven or something and get a temperature test on it. Now this is milliamps, okay? Milliamps is good for testing things like flame sensors or electrodes or things of that nature. We're not gonna go into that. Most of the time for our batteries, we're gonna use that right there. And then this is my trustworthy T5600 multimeter. I use this everywhere. This is my tool that I've used, and it's just trustworthy. When you're doing electrical troubleshooting and you use a tool that you trust for a long time and it's kept you safe, it's hard to part ways with it. I do have another multimeter that the company gave me. It's basically the same model, except for it has a clampable amp meter on it, and it's kind of big and bulky, and it actually makes for a little bit more cumbersome work. I like this. It's sleek, it's straight to the point. Wire strippers, terminal crimps, Klein, Home Depot, 25 bucks. A multi-bit Klein tool. I can't pop that out with one finger. You got double-sided tips on it. You've got 1/4 inch, 3/8, 5/16 through different size heads. And then I use Klein multi-tool. This thing is awesome. Has multiple bits on it, multiple different extensions and drives. You can put a crescent wrench on this to get some extra torque, extra leverage. I use this little stubby to get underneath the control box for mark carts. That little thing is great. And then if I'm rushed for time, I have a right angle drill attachment that I can hook up to my drill and do the same thing, okay? So that's my tool loadout for most of the mark carts that I repair, probably 90% of my carts.